Pine Forge is a sacred place. Out of all of the children in the world, they were the ones that God had ordained to be on this campus.
Long before Pine Forge Academy's campus became home to its sons and daughters, its rolling green hills, nestled in Berks County, Pennsylvania, were stewarded by the Lenni Lenape people. Thomas Rudder, an abolitionist iron miller, later occupied the 575-acre land, which was deeded to him by William Penn in the early 1700s. Several of the original buildings still stand and have a rich history. The manor house has been said to have once been a resting place for George Washington. The property where generations of black children have learned and grown freely was used as a refuge during slavery as a safe place for those journeying to freedom on the Underground Railroad.
In 1945, when the opportunity came for them to sell this land, they elected to sell it to the small group of people who wanted to establish a school. The enterprise, I say, was led by two women. Dr. Grace Kimbrough came with the group of men, the president of the conference and whatnot, to view the land, but also the family, the lady who was selling the property, was so impressed that she gave the first seed money of $2,500. Dr. Kimbrough matched it. From that start, I believe that was like April of 45 until 46, when the school opened, they were able to raise all of the money and purchase. That was quite a feat for 1945 for a group of black people. Back then we were colored people, but for a group of black people to actually end up owning. Some of our neighbors were not quite so pleased because many other people had wanted to acquire this rich land. This is the only African American enterprise owned and operated by African Americans in the Seventh-day Adventist denomination. We're the only organization and institution that has always been under the ownership and leadership of African Americans. And it was established because at the time, our children weren't permitted in some of the other schools, no matter what denomination it was. And so our forefathers thought it not robbery to establish a place where children could come in safety, and you still had a lot of northern blacks who were not comfortable sending their children to the South. And so Elder Wagner determined to open the school here.
My journey started with this bell at the Trinity Temple Seventh-day Adventist Church in Newark, New Jersey, 1946. Coming down here on an old truck that the conference had at the time. It was an old green truck. And 3 other students came along with me. Virginia Barrett, Isaac Richardson, and myself, was 3 of us. And so along with my suitcase and whatever else my mother had packed, we came with this bell. And it meant so much to us because, again, at that time, we didn't have cars. And so my mom was very glad to know that I could come to school and have a ride. And so this bell means a lot to me.
Pioneer students are always reverenced and revered among students and staff. They were the first to experience Pine Forge Academy. Ms. Gloria Davis is a huge inspiration in so many ways. Number one, she's so energetic and vibrant. And when she speaks of the school that she loves, she does so genuinely.
The first day, when we all met in the manor house, the girls, and to just see students coming from different places. And it was just a lovely thing to happen that first day. Nobody didn't seem to be homesick or whatever. They just felt good being there together. It was 3 of us in a room, and they have a bathroom too. So we had a bathroom and 3 rooms that we shared. And the dean was down in the hall. And this was the worship room. This is where we had worship. And that is my room. The biggest gift I can say they give us, that the spiritual part of our growth, because of having worship 3 times a day, having teachers that you could look up to as Christian men and women. They let us know from the way they treated us, there was a God. And there was camaraderie and love between the students and the teachers. This is where, see where it's the clearing there? That was where the old barn that we made to a chapel. But I guess if we ride down, we could get closer. I don't know whether you want to do that or not. That was the old church that was they remodeled it and made a church from a barn. The cook, they came from Philadelphia, and they had one room in at the time, and so they'd bring the big pots and the stuff over here to serve us. But they cooked over here, because they had no place to cook here. So it was just served here. All right? And then, of course, this ends up being the girls' dorm upstairs. This was a barn where the 2 horses were. We had 2 horses, Molly and Dick, and they were in the barn. And, of course, me being from the city, I'm going to get on this horse. And you know what? That horse threw me off. They said, Gloria, don't get on the horse. But you know, being city slick, I fell. The steps are right there. And we walked across, we had to go across the road. And I wanted you to show you where we went to school. It was just some stones there, but you can see it.
In your photo?
Yeah, and I wanted you girls, can you walk?
Yeah, it's a matter, do you feel comfortable?
I feel comfortable. Okay, now you can see the steps. Can you see the steps? Mm-hmm. These are the steps that we would come from the dorm and come down through here and go straight out. And the chapel was over there at the clearing, as I told you before, over here to my left. There's the chapel. You see what I'm talking about? Yes. Can you see brick? Yes. It's phenomenal. The friendships that we had here, it still goes on. It's about 23 of us still living. Wherever they are, we still keep in contact. That camaraderie goes on and on and on until eternity. And we always say when we stop talking to each other sometime, we'll meet you in the kingdom, when we're going to have a place where pine forests is just going to meet in a certain part of heaven.